Liam Sheedy was hoping that wins for Liam Cahill and Tip were like buses. Well, there were a few bumps along the road, but they got there to their destination in the end, which is continued hurling, championship hurling for 2025. Victory for Tip over Waterford. Waterford are not out of it just yet. They still do have a chance to progress, but they must go to Cork next week and win. We have Limerick against Cork coming up very, very shortly. Good news for Clare as well, but they also have to don on their Cork jerseys and hope that Cork come away with victory here in the Gaelic grounds as well. First of all, that is such a relief for Tip, I presume. What do you make of the performance?
Well, I think it's such a relief, but I think for that group of players and for Liam Cahill, it's a massive turnaround from where they were last year. You know, bottom of the table, to have done what they've done and to the way they finished. I mean, we've seen an element of their character last weekend in Ennis, but what they came through, you know what I mean, after Waterford coming level 6 points in a row to get back level and Tip to push on again. There's real character in that Tipperary dressing room. Liam Cahill has built a formidable team, and I think forwards 130 is a great score, but I thought defensively in that second half they were outstanding. I think the defence really stood up. They only conceded Waterford 11 points in that second half. So, you know, they're in now, whether it's a Munster final, whether it's top three. A lot of people say the minor match in Thurles today, this is the senior match, but for Liam Cahill and Tipperary, the journey is continuing, and they'll be really happy with that. Really happy with that.
Okay, and also, by the way, Andrew Ormond had some competition, but that's who the lads have picked as the man of the match. We're going to hear from him a little bit later on. But because of the 10-minute delay in throwing down in Thurles, our time to look ahead to this one is tight. That is Limerick against Cork coming up. So, Donal Óg, are these the two best teams in the country we're getting ready to watch?
Well, look what they've done over the last couple of years. There's been games of the ages against both of these teams, and I'm just looking out at the Limerick team here warming up. Like, Limerick are going for 7 in a row in a time where there's been massive games in Munster. Some of the greatest players to ever play the game. Cork are in no doubt what they're up against, but Cork beat Limerick twice last year. It was a draw in the league game. I don't think Cork have any worries coming down here to play Limerick in the Gaelic grounds. They're going to relish the opportunity to take them on.
I like the sound of that, Joanne. We could be alive in the morning.
There's plenty of eyes of tigers going on around here as well, but are you most looking forward to, I mean, we know there are battles everywhere, but 3 against 14, 6 against 11 on both sides.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, the one that takes my eye altogether is Hayes and Fitzgibbon. I just think like that is a match for the ages. I think they've got their structure right, Limerick now. I didn't really like it the first day. I think Fitzgibbon at 11 brings something else to that Cork attack. Will he track him? Will he just try and be that defensive, you know, over and back guy that he can be with his pace and power? That is one of the battles of the day for me. Who'll come out on top there will have a big say in who comes out on top in the game.
Just looking at Kyle Hayes there, Liam, how angry will he have been? How angry will the lads on the sideline be with the way Cork essentially just took him out of the game in last year's All-Ireland semi-final? Yeah,
well, I think, you know, he's a hard man to take out of the game, but, you know, in fairness, you'd have to hand it to Cork. You know, they've done a really good job in terms of doing that, you know, where they played the ball down. They just vacated that space and created an overlap elsewhere, and I thought they worked really smart. I thought in some ways Pat Ryan got so much right in that All-Ireland semi-final last year. Actually, Joanna, watched the game back during the week. Oh my God, you'd still put the hair standing on the back of your neck with that game. But equally, no different than Anthony, I'm looking forward to the other side, which is the 3 and 6 of Cork. So Owen Downey against Shane O'Brien. I think he's been outstanding in this championship. He's got 1-8, very unlucky not to get a goal again the last day. And outside him, you've got Owen Downey, or Robert Downey, matching up against Cian Lynch. Cian Lynch down in Walsh Park literally orchestrated everything good about Limerick. So I think the spine of that's Cork defence and how they're going to be challenged and tackled by that Limerick spine up front is going to be very interesting.
But as you mentioned earlier, he's not going to get the same freedom that he got down in Walsh Park, sure he's not.
But does Robert Downey go with him or what? That's the dilemma. We just said earlier before the other game joined that you can't have one set way of playing. Yeah. The managers and the tacticians who have only one set of way of playing are being found out. You must be flexible. You must be able to adapt your game. And this is the challenge now for Pat Ryan today. Cian Lynch, what do you do with him?
That's where that whole team defence comes into it. Even on the inside line, Liam was talking about the like Owen Downey on young O'Brien. in there today. Sometimes they might put Gillan or whatever, but the day even to mark somebody 1 against 1 is actually gone. Referees aren't allowing defenders now, we say, maybe get away with things they were getting away with years ago. It needs your half back in there, and it needs them covering. In the same way, if Cork try and protect that centre-back position today, they're going to need their midfielders coming back. And the lads have mentioned some of the battles today. I think the battle in the middle of the field is going to be fascinating. You've got two characters in Will O'Donoghue and Tim O'Mahony, granite versus rock. And then on the other side, you see Adam English and Ethan Toomey, two totally different types of players. You nearly think in one way that they're going to be playing their own game separate to each other. It'll be fascinating to watch.
Everything is absolutely fascinating. We know this Cork team likes goals. We also know that John Kiley specified after their last win over Waterford, he said that Limerick's efficiency in front of goals, that's the piece that we're working on very hard at the moment. They got 2 against Tip, none against Waterford, and only 3 across their entire league campaign. So are they going to find the back of the net this afternoon? Let's find out as we head up for commentary on this one. Brendan Cummins is with Marty Morrissey.
Thank you very much, Joanne. Yes, it's May 18, 2025, and it's a magnificent day in Shannonside. Temperatures reaching 23 degrees. It's hot in Limerick. People have lashed on the factor 50, and they've arrived in Park na Gael in their thousands. It's a sellout once again when Cork and Limerick meet. It's a rivalry that goes back through the generations, to the days of Mick Mackey and Christy Ring, to today's heroes like Aaron Gillan and Patrick Horgan. On the border between Cork and Limerick, the rivalry is intense. Think Loudmead and football and double it. Around Doneraile, Charleville, Newtown, Shandrum on the Cork side, across the border in Limerick and around Kilmallock, Effin and Atalaka. This is the only game in town, the only game that matters. And yet I feel this is the only one game in a series that they could be meeting during the rest of the year. Brendan Cummins joins me, but before we bring Brendan in, I just want to mention that there is a moment's silence being announced here. This weekend, the GA joins in the national commemoration on Guthrie Moor and pauses to reflect on the devastation and suffering caused by the Great Hunger in Ireland of the late 1840s. As well as the harrowing loss of more than 1 million Irish lives, there was a deep impact on our native language, culture and games, and their preservation and promotion were an integral part of the GA that was formed almost 141 years ago, and to which we continue to dig at themselves. We will pause for a moment to reflect on the lost lives of An Guthrie Moor. As you might have heard in the background, Micheál O'Riordan is going to sing our national anthem, Aráin na Bhíon, before a packed capacity crowd in Park na Gael.
Shantir or Shinshire faster, Ni for Quintir on off and Troil, and off the Himshire of Arnaway, Legyan Ergwyn, Hunbosh Goose, Legyan Strayer, Jelov Nabiler, Shalif.
Since 2023, close to 250,000 people, including this weekend, have come to attend and watch Cork and Limerick matches. It's a staggering statistic. Liam Gordon from Killimore and County Galway is the match referee. Last year's All-Ireland semi-final between these counties is the only time in history that Croke Park was sold out for an All-Ireland semi-final. And away we go again in 2025. Cork won the toss, playing from left to right as we look at it here. And they're heading down towards the city end, down towards Coleman Park. First shot at goal is gone to the right and wide. Brendan Cummins, I know you're delighted that Tipperary won the first game, but now in this game you're looking forward to it.
Yeah, it is absolutely electric down there. It's Munster Championship at its very best, and Cork have gotten off to a very good fast start there. They left Patrick Horgan actually inside in the edge of the square. Hayes came out and Alan Connolly and left that space in there, but Dalton just flashed wide. It'll take just a minute or two, even though they're really experienced competitors down on that pitch, to settle in.
Gerard Hegarty giving it short for Adam English. Available is Cian Lynch. Up goes the right paw. The pass is perfect. On the overlap is Tom Morrissey, and that flies between the posts and over the bar.
Yeah, there you have it in a caption there, Marty, the Cian Lynch and conundrum that Downey has. He had to hold off a bit from Lynch there, which opened up the middle. He was neither here nor there. And Morrissey saw the opportunity and cut down the middle.
Puck out down into the middle of the field. Cork lose the possession. Tipperary from way out the field. Tom Morrissey. He may have missed the earlier part of the league. He returned from touring around after last year's All-Ireland semi-final defeat, but he has found his form.
He has, and every mistake is going to be punished. It's also to note as well that Limerick are shooting with the breeze. It's kind of right to left into that goal. It's stiff enough.
Patrick Collins going long, bypassing Kyle Hayes on this occasion. Breaking ball, plenty of Cork players available. The initial pick-up by Ethan Toomey just didn't come up properly for him. Limerick have the slither. They should have it. Will O'Donoghue is back there. Kyle Hayes lets him have it, and into the centre comes Limerick again, bursting out of the attack. Out of the defence is Barry Nash. Cian Lynch again, given a lot of space. The diagonal ball is heading towards the corner. It has the momentum, but it's just about kept in beautifully. Nice stick work, good hands, trying to get inside. Aaron Gallagher, beautiful turn. Acres of space he has inside if he wants him. A colleague, here comes Aaron Gallagher!
Exactly what Clare would want, Marty. They have guys out the pitch, or sorry, Limerick would want. They have players out the field. Gets a one-on-one with Galan inside, and he does what he does best.
What a goal by Aaron Galan. Beautiful stick work, brilliant wrist, beautiful turn. Here comes the rasper. Collins had no chance. Long puck out again, dropping into the sunshine. They all collide. Chasing after it is Alan Connolly. Alan Connolly has the slip. The referee blows his whistle. He's indicating it's a free to Cork. Cork players are protesting vehemently, and the referee had blown his whistle.
Claiming his contact on the face guard. It's accidental. And you're always trying to grab a defender coming back there, but it is contact on the face guard and a pull back. That's what the Cork players are remonstrating about.
Yellow card for Jim Burns. As Cork were bearing down on goals. Now, to soothe the Cork nerves, here's Patrick Horgan. Puts that between the posts and over the bar. Cork are up and running. There's always magic in the air when Cork and Limerick meet, and we've already seen a piece of pure, utter magic from Aaron Gallagher. Now, can Cork respond? Here's Owen Downey, Glen Rovers man, into the space to Mark Coleman from Blarney, just down the road from the north side of Cork City. He has the time, he has the pace, he has the accuracy. Great score.
That's very good use of the ball. Coleman ghosted up along the wing there. All the guys in any team you want to have, the ability he has, just a simple one to slot it over the bar.
Nicky Quaid. Long puck out. Well down inside the Cork 45-metre line. Referee watching it. Aaron Gallagher was looking for a free. Picked up instead by David Reedy. Reedy cutting inside, yet to score the Munster Championship. Got inside is Barry Nash. He was a forward. Can he score? Oh, great defending by Cork, and has gone out for the ball is wide. Brilliant. If you want to see classic defending by any team in the country, watch this sequence, because Limerick had Cork exposed. David Reedy, the support was from Barry Nash, but Cork defending, they swarmed him at the right moment and did not foul him. Ball is pucked out and Cork have the possession. The hits are going in fair and square. Robert Downey from out the field. Slots that over the bar, and that's 2 in the Cork back line that have now scored.
Yeah, it's great skill from Downey. He just gave the dummy there to give himself a bit more time. Great composure.
Nice ball inside as Limerick try to expose this Cork full back line. Nice. Just showing a little bit too much of it with Shane O'Brien. Turns. Trying to float this one in, but it floats very much to the left and wide.
Again, good defending from Owen Downey. Didn't panic when he had O'Brien one-on-one. Down underneath us here, Dalton is down with an injury of some sorts. But Kiley there has set it up really well. He's got 2 inside in the full forward line, everybody else out the pitch, trying to cut down the space the Cork forwards have. We always know they've grass is what they run into. He's trusting Galan inside that he's going to get on the ball. The same way with Shane O'Brien there or David Reedy. There's 2 up top all the time.
This was just pure magic from this man, Aaron Galan. Turning inside Niall O'Leary. Beautiful stick work. Hopping on the ground, another little swerve to the right, and then comes the Rasper. It's his first goal of the Munster Championship 2025.
Yeah, he definitely took advantage of that little slip, but the way Limerick have set up there is what got him one-on-one out there. It's very, very difficult for a defender when you're one-on-one with that man in your shot. He's lethal once he gets inside. Great calmness.
Plenty to talk about tonight in the Sunday game already, and we've only got 6.5 minutes played in this match.
Worrying signs down there as well, Marty, for Dalton there. He doesn't look that comfortable at all. Looks like there's a replacement coming on now for him.
That would be a huge loss because his performance in the previous round against Clare, you could see by the body language he's heartbroken, but he's obviously picked up an injury. And Cork are going to introduce a substitute as they change the Cork attack. This is Brian Roach that's getting the nod from the beginning. But on Declan Dalton's form, Brendan Cummins, he is a loss.
He's a loss today, and it could be a loss next weekend too, but they'll worry about that later on tonight.
Limerick on the attack. Adam English in front of the Mick Mackey stand. He floats into the breeze, under the blue sky, and raises a white flag.
Yeah, another man who's having a great year. He just hadn't been finishing, Marty, as well enough for me, but he certainly got off to a great start here now. It's a great finish.
Long drive. Dermot Burns. Lots of space in the pitch here. Nice ball into the centre as Limerick built from the back. Good work by Mike Casey. Hooked on this occasion. Gets by Shane Barrett second time round. Through the ball. And that's going to be a free for Cork just inside their own 65-metre line.
Yeah, big pressure on the middle third of the pitch. There's big pressure on Cork to not let the ball get inside. Reedy and Galan are inside 1v1 if they get it in at all. But did really well, Cork, that time to swarm and stop the delivery and get the turnover.
Mark Coleman going to take this. In fact, he's leaving it for Patrick Horgan, who's coming back inside his own 65-metre line.
Limerick are getting agitated because there is a breeze down there, Marty. Affairs to Patrick Horgan. He's doing all he can to slow this up, kill the momentum.
Clever enough to move the sliotar beyond the 65-metre line. Then when the complaints arrived, brought it back, having been gently persuaded. He's already scored a goal in 18 points coming into this Munster Championship match, dropping in just a little bit short for Nicky Quaid. Good hands. Will O'Donoghue giving the ball away, easily picked up by Tim O'Mahony. Superb block by Kyle Hayes. Loose ball available, beautifully picked up by Brian Roach. Took the hit inside. Nicky Quaid has to come off his goal line. Looking for it is Dermot Burns. Dermot Burns is marked, so Nicky Quaid has no option but to go long into Cork territory. Almost breaking it down to Cian Lynch. Again, the right paw goes up, gives it down to Aaron Galan. The Patrick's Well boys, both of them former hurlers of the year. And what a combination. They understand each other. Since the early days of playing in the hurling field in Patrick's Well, they give each other a high five, and they can still understand each other when they're grown men playing for their county.
They can, yeah, and it's all came this block down from Kyle Hayes there again. Really, really good eye on the ball. And Galan gave the thumbs up there, Marty, to the boys to say let it in. He was happy that the ball was delivered, no messing. We'll do the rest inside here, and great skill from Cian Lynch, obviously. create the opportunity now for the free for Galan.
I mentioned Hurler of the Year 2 years ago. This man was Hurler of the Year. Aaron Galan, 4 times an All-Star. Hits it straight over Patrick Collins' crossbar. Limerick look quite dangerous when the ball is left in fast. Now, it's time to see what Cork have to offer. Shane Barrett. Speedy Gonzalez of Blarney. When he gets an opportunity, he'll fly through. Great block down, great defending by Limerick. The 7 in a row Munster champions seeking side are up for this match. Make no mistake about it.
Yeah, and they know they have to get touch tight all the time with Cork. You see the eye on the ball here. Fairness to Casey, did really well. Got Horgan on the back foot. Normally a defender will step back a bit, but he pushed in on him. And every turnover is going to be celebrated here.
Dermot Burns. Dropping this in. Dropping it just outside the post and wide. He'll be disappointed with that, Lee.
Cork were trying to get the puck out of the way quickly, but they had players inside the 21, in fairness to Liam Gordon. But that again just shows you the breeze, Marty. Patrick Horgan had one inside his own 65, dropped short. Burns inside his own 45, went wide.
Collins goes short. Combines with Owen Downey. Sends it down the middle. Coming across is Barry Nash. Former wing forward, former cornerback, now wing back. You've got to be versatile. Wonderful fielding by last year's All-Star fullback, Owen Downey. Giving it out to big brother Robert. The Glen Rovers boys. Looking around to see who's available. Goes down the middle channel. Ball to hand, Tim O'Manning. Overfires Mark Coleman. Outside the Limerick 65. Sending a nice ball inside. Nice turn by Brian Hayes. Laying it off. Oh, just left it behind him a little bit. And good defending by Limerick, in particular Sean Finn. 4 times an All-Star in a row at right cornerback, Sean Finn. That's the calibre and quality that's on view here this afternoon. The referee, Liam Gordon, is blowing his whistle. He's giving a free to Limerick. He seems to be indicating there was a jersey pulled by Owen Downey, I should say, and that's going to be a free in for Limerick.
Yeah, he was all over him inside there. Just pulled back again. It's up the other end of the pitch. Could have been a goal for Cork, 1-on-1, and down here at this end the same way. Both teams playing with great bravery, leaving trust in their inside defenders to handle it. Sometimes it'll go wrong like that.
Liam Gordon explaining to Owen Downey the reason for the free. And in fairness, it's one thing I compliment the referees, both in football and hurling, when they continue to communicate with the players and inform them of why the decision was made. It helps everybody. Aaron Galan has already scored a goal and a point. Never in any doubt that he'd increase his tally to 1-2. Sharp fires Mark Coleman. But he loses the possession. Limerick put the pressure on. Cian Lynch going short. This time fires Tom Morrissey. Scored 2 points at the beginning of the game. And the man is on form, Tom Morrissey. From a hand. 3 in a row. 3 shots a goal. 3 points. Mark Coleman had it, but he lost the possession due to the fair pressure from Limerick.
Yeah, Limerick are on him in a flash. They don't want him. They want Collins to go along like this in the puck outs, but they're certainly turning them over and they go short.
Cork have not scored now since the 5th minute of the match, and we're heading towards the 15th. Ball inside for Shane Barrett, being pursued by Kyle Hayes. Beautiful Kyle Hayes. Great play by a man who started his career at wing back at Limerick under 21s. Moved to the forwards, now back at centre back in the absence of Declan Hannon. Barry Nash sending it first down past Cian Lynch. The referee has blown his whistle for a late challenge on Barry Nash.
Yeah, I think, Marty, when they talk about Kyle Hayes and they say why is he so important to this Limerick team, just watch that reel over and over again. The speed he has to get back, the composure, get the flick away. Barrett thinks he's away, look at that, just got the flick across him. Great defending, and then strong enough not to give the ball away and made sure he minded as best he could.
Barry Nash going to take this from the South Liberties Club. Driving into Aaron Galan and David Reedy and company. David Reedy comes across, looking around, sends it back into the midfield area towards Gearóid Hegarty. Plenty of red and white jerseys there. Brian Roach is available in front of the McMackey stand. Looking for it, gathered it, loses it. There's the pressure from Limerick again. They really are hungry.
Yeah, 4 green jerseys again, Marty. Well, you've seen this a couple of years ago from Limerick. The very minute the middle third is a chance that they're on it in a flash. O'Donoghue again. You can see how much it means to Limerick here. The last 18 months to 2 years or so, Cork have been their kryptonite. They've come in here on a mission now in early days. They're going really, really well.
Dermot Burns takes it short. Gearóid Hegarty is unmarked. Cork were ball watching. It's not a great effort from Hegarty and it's gone wide. That's Limerick's 4th wide of the match. But by his own very high standards, he'll be disappointed with that shot. Patrick Collins looking around to see who's available. His full back line go forward, but so too the Limerick inside line. Comes back for his Ethan Toomey. Good ball up for his Brian Hayes. Inside the 30-metre line, difficult angle, but he scores a beautiful point. It gives Limerick, or gives Cork a little bit of confidence. (1-6) for Limerick, 4 points for Cork. And this shot from way out the field, straight from Nicky Quaid's puck out, goes straight over the bar, off the stick of Adam English for his 2nd point of the game. Magnificent score.
It is Adam English, a real flow here. Cork are trying to get the ball in as quick as they can to the inside forwards.
Barry Nash to Mike Casey. Back to Barry Nash again. He has the time, plenty of time, to see where the ball, where it's going to go. Beautifully caught by Shane O'Brien on the 20. He's going to go for it. Hooked the first time, loses the sliotar, comes out to opportunity, saved on the line, and the referee blows his whistle, and he's given a free to Limerick.
Yeah, it's the tug back on O'Brien is the issue. The crowd on the Limerick side are trying to say that. See, O'Brien comes in here. It's that 1v1 again, gets in behind Downey. He's away then. And Coleman comes in. Not sure where the free was. It must be a tug from Downey, but in fairness to Coleman, he got back on the line really, really well. But it's that 1v1 inside again. Whenever it goes in, there's alarm bells ringing for that man in the shot, Patrick Collins. These inside defenders.
18 minutes gone, and you'd have to say the signs are a bit ominous.
They are a bit, but there is a bit of a breeze there as well, Marty, to be fair. And Cork will be doing the exact same thing in the second half. They'll be getting long deliveries in, and Hayes will be the ones inside then, with maybe Connolly, who are reaping the wars like Galan and O'Brien are at the moment.
Limerick 1 goal and 7 points. Cork 4 points. 1 goal and 8 actually. Cork 4 points.
See the referee there as well, Marty, going down to Owen Downey. I'd say he's giving him one last warning there. It's persistent foul, and the last thing Downey wants now is to get a yellow card.
Little 1-2 between Sean O'Donoghue and Patrick Collins, trying to get the ball up to the full forward line, but the Limerick backs have been really impressive. Will O'Donoghue giving it over towards David Reedy as Limerick work the ball out using the hand pass legally, effectively. Adam English, beautiful understanding with Mike Casey. He's the left corner back, and that's straight over the bar. Wonderful score. It's normally his brother Peter Casey that's scoring, but this time it's the left corner back. But what a score, a real team effort from deep inside their own half of the field to slot that over the bar.
Yeah, serious determination there to explode into that space. Confident hit it over the bar.
Limerick masterful in the opening 20 minutes. 1-9 to 4 points. Back in the attack again. Knocked away. Trying to chase it up as Shane O'Brien has the opportunity to turn and send that between the posts for his first score of the game.
Marty, the Cork half forward line are way too far up the pitch. They're playing against the breeze. They're playing in the Limerick half of the pitch. It sounds a bit mad, but they need to come back down and engage with the Limerick half forward line. There's just too much space around that middle third. Watch the ball when it falls down. There's green jerseys everywhere.
Ball is knocked down. Brian Hayes almost had it. Adam English hops it nicely. Lovely combination. Kyle Hayes sees the gap. Beautiful skill. Heading towards the 45. Didn't quite connect, but he still continues on to try and get the ball. Under pressure is the right corner back, Niall O'Leary. under severe pressure, but coolness personified. He hears the call, and Cork work it out. Tim O'Mahony between the 45 and 65, a diagonal ball, which is much better. And Cork's Alan Connolly was being held back, and that's going to be a free in for Cork, just outside the 20-metre line.
Hurling's a real game of counter-attack as soon as Hayes lost possession up there. It was always on for Cork inside 1v1. Mike Casey's just caught for tugging, a little bit like what Downey has to do up the other end, or Niall O'Leary or Donohoe. Just getting a tick in there. Well, Pat Ryan has an issue there on his own puck out. Every time they lose it, Limerick are running down their throat. He's having a chat there with Ethan Toomey. I'd say to tell him, get back towards our goals. You're too far up the pitch.
Patrick Horgan gets his second point of the game. Great start for John Kiley and his Limerick team. The amount of space that Limerick have is mind-boggling, really, in this first half. I know, Brendan, you highlighted it again, but right from the start, I've been saying it myself, the amount of spacing is huge.
Yeah, it is. It's massive, and you see the way Morrissey and Hegarty playing early as half-backs. Cork half-forwards are playing too, as I said, far up the pitch, and what's happening now is there's space all over the place. They got away with one there, all right.
Well, Dermot Burns knew he was going to be hooked or blocked, so he tried to hand pass it, but it was an illegal pass, so it's a free for Cork. And once again, Patrick Horgan will come out to take the free.
Be fair to Shane Barrett, Marty did really well there. He got back and put the kind of pressure on that you need to, that we haven't really seen in the last 15, 16 minutes or so of the halves, as Limerick have really taken over.
Patrick Horgan going to take this. 36 years of age. Since the 5th of May. Cork fans not pleased with the first half performance. Hoggy making his debut against Tipperary back in 2008. And this time he'll be disappointed. Second wide of the match for Cork. Nicky Quaid knocked away on this occasion by Mark Coleman. Coleman looking for the run. And it's a good one. Brian Hayes almost colliding with Alan Connolly. Lays it off to Patrick Horgan. What's he going to do? Great save by Nicky Quaid. Dan Morrissey, all-star fullback, there to back him up for the all-star keeper of 2024. And Limerick go into the counter-attack mode. Robert Downey trying to keep Garrod Hegarty away from shooting. But the umpires have no doubt that that is sailing between the posts and over the bar for Garrod Hegarty's first point in this match.
Some score, Marty. That's a fair acute angle there. Downey thought he had done enough keeping him out. This is the Horgan opportunity. There's a hit it straight down the throat of Nicky Quaid, a goalie of his quality. Will always save those, but it's important. Morrissey was the man on the spot then to help his keeper out. No rebounds.
23.5 minutes gone. Out of Limerick's 1 goal and 11 points, 1 goal and 8 coming from play. It's reflected by what we're seeing here with Limerick dominant. Kyle Hayes, Barry Nash, Tom Morrissey sidestepping. Nice ball inside, but David Reedy just left it behind him. And Kane Ledge, how does he do that? Beautiful. In Ferris, Tom Morrissey. Tom Morrissey stopped in his tracks by Brian Roach. No free given. Correct call by the referee. Owen Downey sends it down the middle towards Robert Downey. Ethan Toomey steps away from the challenge. He's trying to get past his own 65-metre line. Being pursued by Aaron Galan. Back for Shane Barrett. Now he'll have the engine to go. He's being stopped. Referee says advantage. Advantage being given. Shane Barrett continues on, and that is over the bar. Good decision by the referee. Good play by Shane Barrett.
Yeah, great refereeing from Liam Gordon there, and a good finish by Barrett into the breeze there. They're not simple. But again, the touch and the skill from Keane Lynch. Look at that over the shoulder, no look pass.
Nicky Quaid has options, but let's be honest, the long ball is working fine for him. Batted away. Picked up by Darragh Fitzgibbon. Literally centimetres in from the sideline. It's centimetres wide as well.
Okay, Marty, you'd have to stress it's not that simple over there. We normally see Darragh Fitzgibbon hit the net, and with that, the wind is a factor. Limerick are away. Great ball.
Great ball again from Nicky Quaid to Garrod Hegarty. Robert Downey staying with him. Two big men, two fine hurlers. Garrod Hegarty has it back, and there's a A foul by Robert Downey. And there's a free in for Limerick. A real physical exchange between two fine hurlers. Shoulder to shoulder here. Fouling ultimately Robert Downey. And Gearóid Hegarty got inside the cover and got the ball.
There's that yellow card that Cork wouldn't have wanted to have seen on Rob Downey. But again, Hegarty, his strength. Downey lifted the ball. And before he had it in his own hand, Hegarty had it in his left hand and he was gone.
Aaron Gillane going to take this free. Difficult enough angle. Never in any doubt.
Cork need to hang in there, Marty, now. Say the elements are against them. They need to be good sufferers now for the next 8 or 9 minutes or so. Keep the score as close as they can.
Robert Downey getting a yellow card for that exchange. Knocked away beautifully by Kyle Hayes. Cian Lynch. Just a little flick on. Opportunity suddenly arises. Back of the net. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, Limerick. Adam English with his second goal of the Munster Championship. Scored a goal against Tipperary. Scored a goal against Cork. But it's created by a magician called Cian Lynch.
Yeah,
Raspberry to the back of the net.
Adam isn't missing today, Marty, and the Cork are away again now. But that man, Kyle Hayes, he has had some display in this half, Marty. He's been the launch pad for everything good that's landed down on the Limerick half-back line.
Then Cian Lynch picks it up, looks around, has the space, turns, shoots and scores. Cian Lynch is simply awesome, simply brilliant.
And again, Cork are, Marty, I can't stress enough, they're too far up the pitch. They're losing the numbers game around the middle third all of the time. The Limerick half-forward line are back. Adam English, the crowd are getting going now as well, obviously. Limerick on a real roll here.
Ball breaks out towards Mark Coleman. Into the centre. Diagonal ball over towards Patrick Horgan and company. Manages to turn. Oh, that's a very good score against the wind. You can't beat a bit of experience when life is kind of going against you. And this game has been going against Cork right from the throw-in at 4 o'clock. It's a scoreline on the top of your TV screens that we never quite anticipated. And thankfully, there's a lot more time to go, because Cork with wind advantage, as Brendan has said, will be a different animal completely. Free for Cork, and again Patrick Horgan coming out to take it.
To take everything he has to get the distance and accuracy on this one.
For Pat Ryan, it's been a learning experience this first half for his side. He's already scored 3 times, Patrick Horgan. Had a shot at goal saved by Nicky Quaid.
It's the force of Marty from you're that far out, the breeze into your face, you feel you have to go harder at it to hit it, and mistimed it again.
4th wide of the match for Cork. Long puck out from Nicky Quaid. He really is having a huge impact, Nicky Quaid, those puck outs, as David Reedy gets the breaking ball and scores his first point in the championship.
Yeah, got the tap down from Hegarty. Hegarty really well there. He just knew exactly what he was doing. He broke the ball down to Reedy's stride. Give him a simple task.
Short puck out to Undani, picked up by Aaron Gillane. Aaron Gillane is surely fouled. Referee's giving the advantage. Sends in a shot, but the referee is going to blow a whistle. The short puck out not working on this occasion, as the effort was blocked on Owen Downey's efforts to clear. Good work by Shane O'Brien. Aaron Gillane picked it up. He was clearly pulled. He took the shot anyway, but he was giving an advantage.
Yeah, he did, and there's no black card because Gillane didn't go to ground. But again, it just shows everywhere Cork are trying to do. They go short, they get turned over, they go long, they're beaten by the bodies in the middle third. Just all down to that work rate that the Limerick forwards are showing all around their area of the pitch. And it's been reflected in the scoreline, there's no doubt about that.
He scored a goal and 11 points in the Munster final a couple of years ago, Aaron Gillane. And right now, he scored a goal in 5 in this match. And Cork will be seriously worried at the break because John Kiley's team have really shown their character. 2-15 to 7 points, 21 points to 7. Limerick winning all the crucial battles. Long ball in from Tom Morrissey. Cork full back line under severe pressure. Ball bounces. Ball is out, says the referee. Aaron Gillard holding Niall O'Leary's hurley. That's a free out for Cork.
Yeah, not a bad free to give away either for Gillard. He'd lost the hurley. Means Cork have no momentum. See him here. He's just holding on to the hurley.
Patrick Collins goes for distance. Added to by Tim O'Mahony. There's a wrestling match going on. The ball comes out. Eventually, Shane Barrett is there, getting no chance to run at the Limerick defence, taking a heavy knock in his efforts to get clean possession. There was the challenge there, not once but twice.
Two full-backs. He's gone on to Kyle Hayes there for the slap across with the hurley. He got away with one earlier on there, but in fairness to Liam Gordon this time, he decided that it was just aggressive use of the hurley.
Yellow card for Kyle Hayes as Patrick Horgan. Looks like this is sailing between the posts. It is. White flag is going to be raised. Every point now is crucial from a Cork perspective to try and get back into this game in the second half and not concede any more. Look at the marking here. It's terrible by Cork. Gerard Hegarty from Nicky Quaid to over the bar.
Yeah, it was Robert Downey
in motion.
Yeah, it is. It's Robert Downey. Robert didn't follow across there. He was trying to go zonal mark, and Hegarty saw it, and of course no one better than Nicky Quaid to pick him out.
Advantage to Cork. Good running here by Darragh Fitzgibbon, running through the heart of the Limerick defence. Can he score? Don't think so. Ball is wide. When things go wrong, things go wrong. And in this first half, nothing is going right for Cork. That's due to the full complement and to the awesome performance by their opponents, Limerick. Oh, beautiful start. David Reedy, just a flick of the wrist. Adam English curling it back. This is exhibition stuff. In Ferris, Tom Morrison having a shot and scoring another point, his 4th point of the match. It is an array of hurling skills, of vision, of interpretation, of being to look at that from Adam English. He knew that Tom Morrissey was gone inside. Away goes Tom Morrissey. Thought about perhaps going for goal, but he took his point. Little 1-2 with Patrick Collins. And again, Cork seemed to be rattled in this first half. And Mark Coleman unable to control the slither.
Yeah, they're very jumpy, there's no doubt about that. Hegarty comes in, puts out his leg. Got to be lucky there's not a dead leg on Mark Coleman there now. Sometimes knee to quad there can be an issue. The last thing they need now, as bad as things are going for him, is Mark Coleman not to be able to come out for the second half. And of course, Marty, facing into the second half, Limerick are really good against the breeze. They tip and tap the ball out really, really well, but it will certainly help Cork's game with the long ball in top of Hayes. They can deliver from anywhere around their own 45, whereas in this half they've just gotten bogged down and can't get out.
Five goals between the teams, 15 points. It's intimidating. Darragh Fitzgibbon back again for his Mark Coleman, but Limerick put in the hard work and they win the possession back almost. Now they have it, and away the process goes. Gerard Hegarty flicking it back for his Dermot Burns from the middle of the field. Listen to the roar. First point of the match for Dermot Burns. Scored 3 against Tip, 1 against Waterford and 1 against Cork.
Yeah, Hegarty and Donohoe were 2 over on the far side. They got the turnover, and how many times we've seen Dermot Burns step out of his wing back position and just catapult the ball over the bar like that.
Long puck out by Patrick Collins. Nicely picked up on this occasion by Brian Roach. Heading towards goal, and that is over the bar. That's a good score. For Cork, every single white flag now is crucial. It's still an intimidating scoreline, even having played against the breeze. 1 minute of additional time going to be added on. Another long puck out from Nicky Quaid. Stalemate inside the D. They're coming forward, the green and white in numbers, but Owen Downey and Cork survived the exchange and win themselves a free out.
Yeah, every long puck out. We normally see a full forward line, Marty, especially Cork there, would come out the pitch to help their defenders. The ref's going to call that back. So everybody drops back the pitch 10-15 yards. But here, Cork have all stayed in their slots. It's been one-on-one inside 60 yards all day long here, and Limerick have scored 2-18 out of that.
So really what you're saying is the Cork half-forward line should have gone back a lot more.
Yeah, the Cork full forward line need to come out another 15-20 yards. Nicky Quaid has the ball. The half-forward line come back, the half-back line come back, and then you congest that middle space where Hegarty's running into all day long.
Long puck out again from Collins. And the referee blows the half-time whistle. An awesome performance by the Shannonsiders. They are back to their very best. And let's be honest, they've given Cork a lesson in this opening half. With wonderful displays by so many players, including Kyle Hayes. For Pat Ryan, there's a lot to talk about, there's a lot to think about. But Cork will have wind advantage in the second half. But can they recover a substantial lead that the Munster champions have established after 36 minutes of action? An intimidating scoreline. It is Limerick, 2 goals and 18 points. Cork, 9 points at the break.
For more great shows, go to the RTE Player app on Sky.
This Limerick team is looking awful like that green Munster that won 4 All-Irelands in a row. John Kiley said he wanted to improve their efficiency in front of goal. They've got 2 in the opening half against Cork, but it's been about so much more than just finding the back of the net. Limerick look to be back, and they lead Cork at half-time 2-18 to 9 points. And here are some of the key stats. Now, what you have to look out for is the fact that there were 25 scoring chances created by Limerick in that first half, and they managed to score 20 of them. And they also turned over, made massive amounts from the turnovers against Cork as well. There's so much to try to squeeze in, but let's try to get little bits in. First of all, the goals and how obvious it was that there was one man once again pulling all the strings.
Okay, so Limerick have been outstanding, Joanne, but Cork will be really disappointing. Look at this. They decided to take Robert Downey out of centre back. See Tim O'Mahony here talking to Kieran Joyce. Joyce obviously targeted with marking Lynch. He's saying, come out and mark Lynch. Then Sean O'Donoghue says, no, I can take him here for a bit. But then once he sees his man Reedy, he then leaves Lynch go. So now nobody is actually marking him. So we know that Gillane is brilliant. We know that this was a very good pass. We know that Niall O'Leary slipped and it was a finish. But where it came from was how Cork were set up originally, and that's where the damage came from outside, and Cork will be very disappointed in their discipline there defensively.
Yeah, Joanne, like the second goal is, you know, there's similarities because they're porous enough in the middle, but you have to credit as well the vision. Like Joyce, centre back, you're marking Lynch, you're not marking him. English drops it initially, but buries low to the corner, and this is the sort of finish. We saw Hoggy with the chance, but look at that for space. Like we said it beforehand, you just can't give him. English has won that midfield battle on Young Toomey, hands down.
But again, interestingly, I mean, I was surprised. Like they are to defending. Like you've seen Niall O'Leary. He followed out Aaron Gillane, and he was literally, Gillane just ran away from the play, and Niall O'Leary followed him. Like your first instinct as an inside back should be protect the goals.
Go to the man coming at you.
You know.
But he peeled away and dragged about 3 with him.
Yeah, you do wonder what you do when a man can do something like we saw Cian Lynch do there, and what we saw him do throughout the opening 35 minutes. And did Tom Morrissey capitalise his result as well?
They're so up for it as a unit, Joanne. They're totally coordinated. I'd argue maybe Cork are thinking there's 3 matches between the two of them, and we'll win the last one, but that doesn't always work out. Limerick anxious to, you know, some of the stuff has been champagne stuff, you have to say. If there's a little mistake, look at this for a pick-up. I mean, I heard his uncle describing him a few years ago as the Messi of hurling, and when you see stuff like that, you just say he's just a fabulous player to watch. I think Adam English has also been, you know, really impressive coming into it. But Cian again, but I can't figure out, Joanne, for the life of me, why would you take your centre-back out of centre-back? Get him to mark him, go with him, trust. Mark Coleman's the best Cork player. He's doing his job, he's beating his men. The rest of them are marking space. You can't do that against a pumped-up Limerick.
You complained about the Cork defence there a little while ago, and it's easy to go on and on about how brilliant Limerick have looked offensively in that first half. But what about in the backs?
Honestly, like their half-back line, you know, they're just like they're ravenous around the ball. I mean, you know, they're just giving up on nothing. There's Kyle Hayes. I mean, he has been everywhere, you know, and again, you know, there was tips last year where they just went by. There was no going by today. Watch this for a block from Mike Casey, you know, and again the defending of Diarmaid Burns to keep Shane Barrett outside him. I mean, it is textbook defending, and they've really given a platform to the forwards. And just every time, here you are again, watch the cover and watch the way they get back. Kyle gets back, just doesn't win the ball. He's actually intent on making an attack. And like, honestly, Cork just cannot get away from that Limerick train today. I mean, they're just all over them. Look at the intensity they put into the tackle up here. Another turnover, another free. And, you know, we said it before the game about, you know, maybe what happened last year in Croke Park. It's clearly made a big impact on John Kiley and Paul Kinnock, because the way they've gone about that first half has just been, it's been incredible to watch.
Whatever about Kiley and Kinnock, there was a stats man passed us down here at half-time whistle. He was going like a man that was good in tugging out. They're that up for this game.
He was a statsman that started a lot of his time in Cork. But,
He taught him all. You want to get him back?
No, but that is the man. But Joanne, the only thing is, right, is there is a strong wind, right? Okay, like that's the only thing. Then Cork are inside in the dressing room, but you must go back to those basic aspects. Cork decided to put a man on Lynch. It looks like it, and we only half did it. Now, even when Joyce was standing on him there, Lynch is so good, and that's trying to take nothing away. It's beautiful to watch it in one way if you weren't a Cork person. It's brilliant, it's magic. I can imagine young people all over Ireland looking at him and saying, I want to go out and pick up a hurley. Yeah. But in this situation, a wise man said to me a while back, he said, it needs to be like a double lock. You need one fella locked onto him, man for man, non-negotiable that you're the fella minding him, and then the team come to help you. Cork aren't doing either.
But it's just really surprising to see an all-star centre-back, who to me was really one of the best hurlers last year, and you go and you tell him, look, I'm pushing out. It's very strange. It's hard to actually fathom why you would move Robert Downey, who to me is the pinnacle of that defence, and you push him out to the wing.
Well, Cork are going to have to do something to try to quell the magic in the second half. They might bear in mind, though, that Limerick have scored a combined 24 points in the opening half. Kilkenny scored likewise against Dublin down in Leinster and ended up hanging on there. They did manage to get the win, but only by 4 points. So could be a big second half still to come.
For more great shows, go to the RTE Player app on Sky.
Limerick have that oh-so-healthy half-time lead against Cork, 2-18 to 9 points, but we know it's never over, even with these big half-time scores, which leads us very nicely to Liam Sheedy to talk about some more aspects. We talked about what Cian Lynch did in that opening half, but there were so many players putting in the word Donal Óg used was magic.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a joy to watch. We're lucky we're at the right end of the pitch here. They're right beside us, but just some of their play. Barry Nash out wing back, obviously missed the All-Ireland semi-final last year. He's having a great impact on the game. Their use of the ball. This guy, all 6 forwards have scored. Adam English has picked up 1-2 from play. made a huge impact when he came on in Croke Park and got his starting place today. And this is probably one of the scores of the game. Adam English, it's just their vision and their use of the ball, right man, right position. And here's Mike Casey up for a very, very rare point from the corner back. But again, great score.
I know, look at Joanne, did they overdo it a little bit? Maybe the temptation was there to do that. Look at this for a ball, like if I'm Pat Ryan and we happen to meet the Munster final, I'm showing some of this stuff. Sometimes this can come back to bite you, but there's no doubt it's just beautiful to watch. Like English, he's all the attributes of Lynch, hasn't he? Like, it's incredible.
A certain man was accusing another team of showboating not so long ago. There may have been a bit there, mind you, they managed to get it on the scoreboard. What about Cork? What are they going to do in the second half?
Well, look, as you pointed out, the one thing we do see in hurling is that scores and big gaps, they can be turned around. Obviously, it's a massive Limerick have been outstanding, they've dominated. Cork will be so disappointed with what they've set up defensively. The one thing I would say is, I think Mark Coleman has been good for Cork here. I think any good ball he's sent in to the Cork inside line, they did look dangerous. Great. I think that's the platform now for the second half, along with everyone working really hard, the attackers hunting back that Limerick middle of the field. Back to our original point, nobody can mark anybody man for man. You need the team to be going after them. I can imagine inside the Cork dressing room there was a big debate about who was marking Lynch, and hopefully there was a couple of home truths told.
Is there a possibility Rob Downey we know he has had injuries this year, hasn't he? And he's been taken off at half-time. Cormac O'Brien is coming on instead. Could that explain it?
In fairness to him, I suppose he was on a yellow as well, though. John, he dragged back Gerard Hegarty, who he was sent to mark. Cormac had a great year all year until he got hurt himself. So I just can't understand why they didn't start him 6. That's the mystery for me. If he's fit to start, why would you start him wing?
We can see Seamus Harnedy, by the way, as well, is coming on. He's coming on for Ethan Toomey. So there are changes being made by Cork.
I think Limerick are out.
Something tells us that the Limerick team have emerged from their dressing room. They have a very, very healthy lead. They look pretty unstoppable at the moment, but Cork have been the team of 2025 up until now. Let's see what they can do. It's back now to Brendan and Marty.
Thank you very much, Joanne. 15 points between the teams. None of us would have expected this in any shape or form, considering the recent performances and displays between the two counties, with literally only about 2 points between them in the last 3 games. Those changes that Joanne mentioned, Cormac O'Brien from Newtown Chandron comes in instead of Robert Downey. Now, there was talk and rumours that Robert Downey wouldn't start because of a knee injury, and Seamus Harnedy comes in for Ethan Toomey in the middle of the field. So the next 10 or 15 minutes going to be vital for Cork, see if they can get back into this match. And they certainly don't need to concede any scores, but try and make and create scores. Picked up by Kieran Joyce. Laying it back. Cormac O'Brien with his very first shot at goal is dropping to the right and wide.
Yeah, at least they won the ball to try to get it back and get the shot away. It's going to take a second or two to adjust to the breeze in there, Marty. But this puck out now is going to be vital for Cork. They saw what Limerick did to them in the first half. They have to try to return the dose now.
Nicky Creed's puck out. Just keeping it in is David Reedy. It's kicked out over the sideline by Sean O'Donoghue, and that's going to be a sideline ball for Limerick. Official attendance has been given as 42,477. Gerard Hegarty going to take this. Will O'Donoghue seems to have just picked up a little hand injury, and that's going to happen as Limerick make the substitution, the blood substitution, just for a moment. That's Darragh O'Donovan that's getting his first touch of the championship. Cian Lynch, Darragh O'Donovan is on it. Good to see him back, having had an injury for the winter months, as Cork fight for every ball. Well won on this occasion by Niall O'Leary. Mark Coleman. Seamus Harnedy. Won back by Diarmuid Burns. Towards Gerard Hegarty. Good work by Cormac O'Brien. Back again. Referee says advantage. But O'Brien continues on and he drives the ball wide, so there's going to be a free back for Cork.
Yeah, Cormac O'Brien there, it would have been great for his confidence to get that one over the bar just as well as pull back. But at least Cork put pressure on the ball coming out there. I think it was Hayes who got the deflection on it. That Ryan be a lot happier the last minute and a half, the way his team have gotten into this.
Patrick Horgan taps that over the bar. So the comeback has started. 14 points between the teams. Not impossible, and let me tell you, there is a really strong wind here in Partner Gael and Limerick, and that's all to advantage Cork in this second half. Good work here by Sean O'Donoghue. Sideline ball going to the Leesiders, just outside the Limerick 45-metre line.
The question as well, Marty, is going to be, when are Limerick going to go short and try to run the ball out? That'll be the real test for this Cork forward line. Can they turn them over?
Dara Fitzgibbon, Charleville man, sending in towards Tim O'Mahony and Patrick Horgan. Did Limerick come away with it? Winning the possession back cleanly. Looking around, there's a two-man full forward line now, and there's acres of Partner Gael land in front of them. Well won, very well won by Owen Downey. Dara Fitzgibbon laying it off over towards Brian Roach. Patrick Horgan unable to reach it. It was a difficult ball, to be fair to him. Picked up by Sean Finn, won by Tom Morrissey. Scored the first 2 points, and away he goes, heading towards the 45. Working back is Shane Barrett, and that is sent in despite the pressure by the Blarney man, and Tom Morrissey gets his 4th point of the game. Well, he certainly has regained his form. Saw him a few times in the league, but my word, in the championship, he's coming to life.
Yeah, Barrett covered some ground to try to track him, but Morrissey had enough composure after that long run to split the post against the breeze.
Puck out from Patrick Collins, using the wind to his advantage. Ball falls kindly almost for Seamus Harnedy, but Limerick have the possession back. Adam English, scorer of a goal and 2 points in the first half, and you just have to admire the way Limerick always played the diagonal ball. From left half back to right corner forward, Aaron Gallan, to the credit of Niall O'Leary, he stays with it, and the corner back from Castle Lyons wins the man-to-man tussle. Full marks to the right corner back, and again Cork go long up towards Patrick Horgan. Difficult ball, beautifully won back. Limerick in control. Now look at the marking here. There is nobody, but nobody around Tom Morrissey, and this time he sends it wide. But the marking by Cork, Brendan Cummins, is terrible.
Yeah, it is. It's worrying now, I suppose, for Pat Ryan down there to see Morrissey twice now standing all by himself.
Cormac O'Brien tries the diagonal ball this time. Thundering in was Dan Morrissey, concedes the free.
You can count 5 jerseys down there inside the Limerick, 5 green jerseys inside the Limerick 45 there. If you remember the first half, there was only 2 red against 2 green. Limerick are sitting back in there, they're letting the ball come in long. They hoovered up Morrissey, then they had to get their head up because they have the numbers coming out with the ball. They have to pick out Morrissey.
So what you're saying really, Brendan, is that Limerick strategically have got it right already.
Well, they have, and they're sitting nice and deep there. Kyle Hayes is standing, you'll see, most of the time between the 45. He's not playing a sweeper as such. He just knows the work rate in front of him is so good. The 2 wing forwards are working back so far that a midfielder is able to cover the Cork 11 and allows Hayes then to hedge properly, which Cork did not have in the first half.
Just outside the 65. Patrick Horgan drives it in and will raise a white flag for the 6th time. 2:19 Limerick, 11 points Cork. Nicky Quaid aiming for David Reedy, knocked away. Gerard Hegarty's in that company. It's an old game plan that has worked for years for Limerick. This time coming away with it is Sean O'Donoghue, sending it along to a lovely turn. Alan Connolly heading to inside the 20-metre line, and Limerick are back there. 4 defenders, 5 defenders around Alan Connolly. This is the point that Brendan Cummins was making a moment ago, that when Cork do get the ball, Limerick seem to have the numbers, which was lacking in the first half by Cork, who seemed to be a bit naive. And Alan Connolly, look at all the Limerick defenders around him.
Hayes is the man who was coming back there as well, Marty. In fairness to me, that left hand on the shoulder, booked in the first half. He needs to be very, very careful now. Giving Liam Gordon a decision if he clatters into somebody else and knocks him over.
Patrick Horgan going to take the free.
Limerick players are remonstrating inside there that the Cork player was just going to ground very easy. I wouldn't agree. A stiff belt to knock him over.
Some of the Cork fans were getting on to the referee that perhaps Kyle Hayes should have gotten a second yellow.
That'll be the question for John Kiley's management team below. Do you leave Kyle Hayes on and risk one more misstep?
Nicky Quaid against the wind. Again aims for the big man. Right half forward, left half forward. It's just normal service. Nicky Quaid to Garrod Hegarty. We could have told you a week ago that would be the game plan.
And against the wind too, Marty. It's unbelievable when you're a goalkeeper down there to see the size of Hegarty with his hand up saying hit it to me, then he catches it and pings it over the bar like it's a thing of nothing.
Dropping ball, Dermot Burns lays it off. Far is Barry Nash sending it down the wing. The Cork defence look very much exposed here. Crossfield ball again, always in front of Aaron Galan. It's the perfect ball for a corner forward. Little shimmy to the left, hits it on the right, over the bar. Beautiful to watch, but not if you happen to be from Cork.
No, Cork are in the real days around the middle third of the pitch. They don't know to push up. The Limerick half-forward line are coming back. The wing-backs don't know to go back after and what they're supposed to do. When you're not winning the breaks, the turnover, don't mention it at half-time, but work. Not getting that level of intensity from Cork, and it causes issues all over the place.
Good ball from Patrick Collins to Mark Coleman, running into a cul-de-sac of green and white jerseys. He lays it off, and the turn from Seamus Harnedy and the point effort is a good one. Good score. Still 14 points between the teams. 2-21 Limerick, 13 points Cork. Nicky Quaid. Garrod Hegarty again is the target. Up he goes, ball bounces. Picked up by Hegarty. Lays it off to Cian Lynch, 45. Looking around to see who he can pass it to. It takes two to stop him. Brian Roach is in there. Bursting his way out. Eventually he's won himself a free. But again, it's a sequence where you look at all the Limerick players around the one Cork player.
Yeah, well, Limerick on the puck out, they created a pod here on the right half forward position to try to get enough bodies to try to win the break, and that's how, when they didn't win the break and it came down, they still had a lot of that green wall there. Patrick Horgan coming a long ways out now. Should have the distance, obviously, on this with the breeze with him. But even on score difference here, Marty, every single one of these are really important to Cork now. Tipperary had a great win in Thurles today.
Patrick Horgan, from way out the field, puts that over the bar for his 8th point of the game. It's not impossible for Pat Ryan, but it certainly is a major challenge. Seamus Harnedy gets there ahead of Cian Lynch, tries to get by Cian Lynch. Shot on pass, Harnedy went down afterwards, and the referee is going to give a free to Cork. Cian Lynch did nothing wrong, he just challenged Seamus Harnedy. But Seamus Harnedy, who's come into this game injured, has taken a bad knock.
Yeah, the claim is that his shoulder to head is what the argument around there of all the players is. Liam Gordon has said nothing to see here. Cian Lynch's argument obviously is that Harnedy ducked into the tackle. Seamus looks like he's okay anyway, and we can move on with a free.
Liam Gordon is telling Adam English that he doesn't want to hear from him anymore because he's giving him a lot of lip, apparently. So, in fairness to the referee, he's asserting his authority in a fair way first before issuing any cards. Meanwhile, Patrick Horgan is going to take this. He's between his own 45 and 65 metre line, but he is wind assisted. He floats it up into the sky, dropping down, dropping wide. For Cork's 7th wide of the match.
And his free taking today, Marty, unusually, is kind of summed up the way Cork are. It's not that assured, it's tentative, not in control, I would say, of the strike.
Nicky Quaid thinking about changing the direction of the puck out in front of the stand. There's the Clare Hills in the background. Keane Lynch is battling in there, but great work by Mark Coleman. Manages to get the ball away to Seamus Harnedy, who's going for his second point of the game, and this is going to curl in. And Seamus Harnedy has made an impact, to his great credit, since being introduced at half-time for Ethan Toomey. Points from way out the field.
Great score there. He slipped in front of Kyle Hayes there. Knew Kyle wouldn't step out to meet him. It's a really good score now.
12 points between the teams. And Cork are winning a lot of ball at the middle of the field. Tim O'Mahony, referee blows his whistle. Didn't like the high challenge. So he's given the free to the Leesiders here.
Yeah, Liam Gordon has been really strict on that. We saw Kyle Hayes booked in the first half for that flick across. The same way now, Will O'Donoghue's just received the yellow card as well for it. Suddenly the Cork supporters around the Gaelic grounds have found their voice.
Patrick Horgan hitting this straight and through for his 9th point of the game. And now it's 2:21 to 16 points. It's getting a little bit closer.
Hurling's amazing, Marty, with the breeze just down there. It only takes one ball on top of Brian Hayes to catch it. And all hell could break loose here yet.
11 points between them now. Tim O'Mahony, ball is left behind. Cormac O'Brien sending it down into the space. Chasing after it is Brian Hayes. Coming out towards the corner. Nice stick work. Can he turn inside? Still Hayes. Flicking it across. Lovely dummy. Patrick Horgan one way, left way, but he left the ball behind him. Has to fight to get it back. Battling hard. Shoulder to shoulder, man to man stuff. And away come Limerick. Little bit too much showing off by Kyle Hayes. Loses the possession and he's given a sideline ball away.
It's that man Hayes again who's in there. See the strength and the power. It's a great referee in there from Liam Gordon. It was a man-to-man tussle inside there with Horgan. In fairness to his credit, tried to stop Hayes coming out, and Harnedy was the one who broke up the counter-attack.
Sideline cut. Up goes Keane Lynch. Looking around again. He looks in the rear-view mirrors as he was about to pass. Intercepted by Sean O'Donoghue. Adam English flicking it across to Garrod Hegarty. It takes 3 to stop it, but 1 is enough. And that 1 is Cormac O'Brien from Newtown Chandron. He gets a clap on the back from Sean O'Donoghue. They're all clapping each other on the back now as Cork just begin to believe in themselves.
Yeah, and Cormac O'Brien has been struggling under the puck out with Hegarty. He's obviously caught a few, but in fairness, when the ball's on the deck, the grimace there from Hegarty obviously doesn't agree with the decision. But in fairness, he's game enough, Cormac O'Brien. He's been stuck into him. He's trying his damnedest to put him off his game, and at times it's working like that.
Cork fans beginning to let their feelings be known as Patrick Horgan takes another free, and again it pulls it to the left and wide. 8 wides for Cork.
Another uncharacteristic miss from Patrick Horgan on the left side again. The breeze kind of slightly right to left into there. Liam Gordon is going to call the play back. Substitution, Seamus Flanagan.
Seamus Flanagan coming on for Limerick, and it looks also like Carl O'Neill is coming on. I have to say, it shows you the depth of talent that is in Limerick. With Flanagan, a first choice full forward, and Carl O'Neill, another first choice player. Going off is Shane O'Brien and Tom Morrissey, who's contributed 5 points to this wonderful performance by the home side.
Morrissey definitely back to his best down there. Back helping his half-back line and popping up to get scores as well.
Nobody connecting. Carl O'Neill is there. Keane Lynch again sends it in low to Seamus Flanagan, flicking it on just to Carl O'Neill is chasing after it, just leaving it behind momentarily. Cork come in to challenge. Great work by Tim O'Mahony. Ball comes out to Seamus Harnedy. Adam English battling hard. Limerick fighting for the ball. Lovely wrist work again. Looking around. Diagonal ball. His nice ball inside in towards Aaron Gallan. Trying to twist and turn. Gallan heads towards the Clare Hills, but this time his ball is gone to the left and wide.
Great defending, Niall O'Leary. Great defending inside there. Great feet. Gallan was squirming around there, but O'Leary kept the head.
Long puck out from Patrick Collins. Knocked away. Brian Roach coming in. The powerful presence of Kyle Hayes. Over for Keane Lynch. Always seems to have time all day. Seamus Flanagan trying to knock it down. getting the return pass, but the pass just goes astray. Cork have it now once more. They're looking for the runs, and they're making the runs, including Brian Hayes from right corner forward to left corner forward, where the ball is coming back down for Barry Nash, and under pressure from Cork, trying to get away. This is better from Cork as they chase and harass. The crowd of Cork supporters unanimously standing on their feet. They obviously didn't like the challenge by Limerick, but the referee didn't agree with them, and the ball from Nicky Quaid will go out over the sideline. Perhaps from a Cork perspective, justice is done.
Claiming Patrick Horgan got flattened over the far side there. He did get a belt and the ball wasn't near him, but either way, anyway, slight error from Nicky Quaid there has given Coleman an opportunity. You have to wonder as well, Darragh Fitzgibbon's not really in the game, Marty. You wonder if Cork need to bring him out around the middle of the field just to try to get him on the ball. It seems to be bypassing him. They can't find him in the middle third at all.
Mark Coleman with the sideline cut. Hits it in, nice. Is there a touch? There is, but it's wide. Disappointment for Brian Hayes and for Cork.
Yeah, it's one of the moments for him now. Coleman just, there's a hard one coming in, pace on it. Did well actually, just trying to get it on target. Morrissey on his back.
Long, quick puck out for Carl O'Neill. Doing a Tom Morrissey on it.
Yeah, that's poor, Marty, because that's Mark Coleman's man. Coleman's over here taking the line ball in the left half forward position. No one picking up his man on the far side of the pitch. Quick puck out later, and that's your net result.
Easy point to concede, really. Niall O'Leary will require a little bit of attention here. Championship debutant back in 2019 against today's opposition. Damien Cahalan is going to be introduced.
And Niall O'Leary's going to have to obviously come off there. Picked up that bit of a knock when he was tracking down and Aaron Galland there in the last play when he got the hook into him. Just twisted something awkwardly there. Cork again will be hoping that he'll be okay for next weekend.
To Damien Cahalan from St. Finbarrs in Castlehaven. Son, of course, of the great Niall Cahalan is being introduced, and Niall O'Leary is the player that's making way, obviously picking up an injury.
Replacement on the Cork team, number 17, Damien Cahalan. Replaces number 2, Niall O'Leary.
Patrick Collins going to try and take advantage of the wind in this second half, dropping it down towards Brian Hayes. Ball drops on. Ball is available, and Limerick have it. Advantage being given by the referee. Hit it a little bit strongly, but Carl O'Neill controlled it well. Gives it back towards Will O'Donoghue. Available is Adam English. Hits this powerfully, but I'm afraid nowhere near the target.
Again, Cork players not outside the 21. So they pull the puck out back. Liam Gordon again has been a stickler on that. He's consistent.
15 minutes still to go in this Munster Championship clash. Plus, of course, there might be a few minutes injury time as well, but there's 12 points between them. 2 against 1. Barry Nash, wonderfully consistent no matter where you pick him. O'Neill playing a major role in the second half since being introduced. Down towards Seamus Flanagan. Damien Cahalan has lost his hurling. Damien Cahalan has to try and keep goal side of it. Back outside. Kieran Joyce, and the referee acknowledged that there was fouling by Cork, and that's going to be a free in for Limerick.
Again, they got the one-on-one inside with Flanagan. 2 Limerick half forwards were standing nearly in their own half back line, creating the space inside. Flanagan's one-on-one. Cahalan was in hard luck. He lost the hurling. That's the best he could do.
Yellow card for Damien Cahalan. Maybe disappointed with that, to say the least. Meanwhile, Aaron Galland is concentrating on taking the free. He's already scored a goal and 6 points in this match. That gives you an idea of the angle. And that gives you an indication of the reaction. John Kiley must be so proud of his team with that performance, particularly in the first half. Considering that Cork have wind advantage, it's interesting to note that Cork now haven't scored in 9 minutes. Brian Hayes, good work by Sean Finn. In there as well, Dermot Burns. And once again, it's Limerick to come away with it. Adam English is fouled.
Yeah, 4-2 there on the green jerseys. They're all around the ball, the work rate, the hunger. That very minute the ball drops around there, Adam English is coming back on one flank. Will O'Donoghue's coming back on the other. The two half forwards are coming back to take their slots as well around the middle. Very, very well organised Limerick today.
Peter Casey is on. The player that's making way is David Reedy. Huge reaction to see Peter Casey back in the Limerick jersey, and we welcome him back after that horrific injury. He's worked hard. We wish him well for the forthcoming season. As that ball is dropping in, batted away. The aforementioned Peter Casey, just down the road here in Cardavan, where we are at the moment. Tim O'Mahony gets the breaking ball. Good work by Dan Morrissey to Barry Nash. Sending into the corner, but there's nobody home, which is rather surprising, because every time we went down the wing there was somebody there in a green and white jersey. Damien Cahalane, and the referee has spotted a foul on Brian Hayes, and that the jersey pull before the ball arrived. Soft free to concede now.
Yeah, just Casey just now, you can see to get a little tug. Hayes comes out to the ball kind of sideways, trying to hold off the defender so he knows where he is. And fair to Casey, just gave him that little tug. He'll be happy enough that just to concede a point here.
Now referee now bringing into the middle.
Sorry, Marty, it makes it more interesting now. Patrick Horgan should have a dig here at this.
Hoggy is contemplating it. 5 Limerick men on the goal line at the Ennis Road goalposts. Nicky Quaid poised to dive either way. Here comes Patrick Horgan. It's in the back of the net. It's exactly what the doctor ordered, because Cork needed a lifeline. He smashed it into the back of the Limerick net. It's still a long way back, but it gives the people of Cork renewed hope. It was lashed past the Limerick goal line. 10 points between the teams, 10 minutes to go. Tension is palpable. Limerick have it. They give the ball back, flicked away on this occasion by Seamus Harnedy. Laying it off, fires Alan Connolly. Had to come all out to midfield. Connolly about to be taken out of it by 4 Limerick players, at least marked out of it. He twists and turns. He's on the 45. He sends it high, but that, I think, is going to go well wide. And it is.
That happens when you haven't been on the ball a lot, Marty. You just start to force it a little bit. Connolly done really, really well. Harnedy was coming on the loop. He was just saying, this is the moment. We have momentum. I have to be the man to do it. And the simple pass was on, especially with the Limerick cover and defence coming back.
John Kiley encouraging his players to go forward again. Limerick would have anticipated and expected Cork to come back at them. Cian Lynch survives the challenge, looks around, a little flick on for his Carl O'Neill, creates the space. O'Neill goes for it, dropping in, and Patrick Collins has it, but the referee is blowing his face. He's giving a penalty as Aaron Galland was being fouled, and the referee has no doubt whatsoever.
Galland is really, really good at that, Marty. He got pinned. Watch him in here now. He pins Downey to the edge of the square. Look at the strength on him. He's forcing Downey. Then he falls back into them. Downey's hand comes over his shoulder. See Downey's left hand. Very minute Galland feels that. He's hitting the deck and wins the penalty. There's the yellow card as well then for Owen Downey.
Yellow card for the Glen Rovers man. Whatever about Cork's comeback, had the momentum after Patrick Horgan's goal, but this penalty could certainly stop that momentum. So it's a vital moment. As Aaron Gallant has to go back over midfield to kind of gather up the slither. Patrick Collins is on the goal line. The sun into his eyes. He has the wind to his back. But Aaron Gallant going to take the penalty. Patrick Swell of Limerick versus Ballinhassig of Cork. Gallant against Collins. Beautifully tucked away in the corner. Never in any doubt.
Minimal fuss. Tings it into the corner. In fairness to Collins, he gets it the right way. It's a great angle of it here. Gives a little bounce, 2 or 3 yards out. Hardest one for the keeper to save.
Beautifully put into the corner. Ball knocked away. Adam English to Barry Nash. Look at the space again. The marking by Cork is really poor. As Peter Casey hits that slither between the posts and over the bar. You cannot beat class. And Peter Casey has an abundance of class.
He has, and over in the right half-back position there for Cork, there's someone gone AWOL all the time. There's acres outside there. Casey finished it lovely.
Seamus Harnedy into the space now. Knocked away on this occasion. Sideline ball to Cork.
You're wondering, Marty, after Patrick Horgan blasted that top spin effort to the net, what was going to happen next? I think it's 1-1 since then, and the green wave is coming back up the pitch, relentless.
A goal by Aaron Gallant has certainly burst the Cork momentum, and the Limerick fans know that they have a team going for 7 Munster championships in a row, 4 All-Irelands, and you can see why they've done it. They have come back into this match. This was the match they wanted to win more than anything else, because of course Cork ended the 5-in-a-row dream last year in the semi-final. But Limerick strategically have really, John Kiley and Paul Kinnerk deserve credit. They've just strategically got it right.
They have, and the attitude has been unbelievable as well. The real bee in their bonnet, like what you said, you listed off, losing the 5-in-a-row to Cork. People kind of half writing them off. All that kind of stuff is, puts fair fire in the belly, Marty, and we're seeing it out there.
Cork have the possession, comes back for Dara Fitzgibbon. Floating one in, but it's tailing to the right and wide. 11 wides for Cork.
There's to Dara Fitzgibbon. He's really struggled out there today. They haven't won the ball 40 or 50 yards up for the pitch from enough so they can get their head up to find him. And all they've done is hit it long, and Kyle Hayes has just gobbled everything up.
Robbie O'Flynn coming on for Alan Connolly.
Sign
tried his best.
Sorry, Dara Fitzgibbon has gone in corner forward, so that's another sign as well of where things are at for Cork.
Peter Casey had gone out over the sideline by the time he got the ball in. The linesman has his flag up. Sideline ball for Cork. Certainly is a great day for Limerick. And I think as well as that, as I think of it now, there's a man who's a devout Limerick fan, Walter Shanahan. We wish you a speedy recovery, Walter. All your friends are thinking of you, including myself, and we wish you a speedy recovery. But I'm sure that today, as you watch the Limerick and Cork fans, all the Mexicans have arrived, that you'll be well pleased with what Limerick have shown here in Park Lagrange. Cian Lynch. I have to say, you love watching him. It's just the flicks. He started a move and away comes Colin O'Neill, who I've no doubt is going to finish it. Brilliant score.
Another big plus for Limerick to Colin O'Neill. Looks like he's moving really freely out there. Marty, see, come on, he's on a few puck outs. He's on coming back, doing his job really, really well. So he looks structurally really strong and really fit.
Mike Casey is going to be taken off. What a great game he had, scoring a point in the process. And from Ballybrown comes Colin Coughlin, getting a massive clap on the back from John Kiley, but a huge response from the people of Limerick as well. Breaking ball. Picked up by, well, almost picked up by Adam English. Robbie O'Flynn sending the ball in, trying creating goals here. Dara Fitzgibbon, Brian Hayes, twisting, turning. He's confronted by 3 Limerick players. That's the difference between the first half and the second half. And Limerick have it once more. There is a wall of green and white, and it's very simple. Cork will not pass or be allowed to pass. Fouled by Brian Hayes.
The ultimate composure from Dan Morrissey there. He had so much awareness that when he got the ball under pressure, being chased down, didn't just hit it away, recycle it again. Finn is the man then who's next up to try to run it out and draws the foul.
Aidan O'Connor is coming on for Limerick, another one of the Ballybrown players, and looks like Dermot Burns is the player that's making way. I saw Aidan O'Connor, and you saw so many other players during the league, and they have blended in so well with the team that have won the All-Irelands and the Munster Championships. It's a cocktail that is working for Limerick, and that is to the great credit of John Kiley, Paul Kinnerk. Well, Dermot Burns is still on the pitch.
Yes, John Kiley called off the substitution. He said, we're not doing that.
So they changed their minds, obviously. Now the linesman is indicating that he needs to come off. And there is confusion.
The main thing is, Marty, with those green men and those jerseys out there, there's absolutely no confusion out there. Will O'Donoghue now is coming back to wing back. Yes, Dermot Burns has been left to field of play.
Confusion with the substitution. And I think Liam Gordon is a bit confused as well. But for a moment, there were 16 players on the pitch. And the officials took care of it as quickly as they could when they realised the error. I think it's going to go back for a throw-in, I think is what Liam Gordon is saying. Yeah, the explanation has been given to the referee. Having a word with his linesman, Thomas Walsh, indicating that there were 16 players on the field, so he's going to give a throw ball. I have to say, compliments to the team of officials, because they have been alert and worked very well as a team.
They've been really good. They've been consistent. The puck outs and defenders inside the 21 have been blown. The whip of a swing of a hurley across has been blown, but again, it has been, if you look at the scoreboard, an easy enough one, I suppose, in a lot of ways. Limerick have brought huge fight, and Cork are disappointed that just haven't really gotten out of the blocks here today, both structurally and the work rate that's required.
Liam Gordon explaining everything to the players, that there were 16 players on the pitch momentarily. Good work by Thomas Walsh, the linesman here at this side, and the decision is a throw ball. So good work by Liam Gordon. Ball is picked up rather quickly by Aidan O'Connor. Quickly laid off. And again, up towards Seamus Flanagan. It's always the ball in towards the corner. Over his shoulder, it's floating in. Just a little bit short for Patrick Collins to easily gather. 4 minutes of additional time here in Parkland Gael. Ball into the centre. Patrick Horgan trying to set up Brian Hayes. Trying to twist and turn, laying it off. Shane Barrett, 3 players around him. Back again for Dara Fitzgibbon. Opportunity coming for Patrick Horgan! And then there's Nicky Quaid at the end of it. Comes back in again, stopped. Shot by Robbie Flynn. Good work here. Cormac O'Brien. Fires the left corner back. Sean O'Donoghue. Picked up by Tim O'Mahony. Bursting through the middle, trying to get through. Cian Lynch. And Limerick come away with it. As Limerick retain control. Will O'Donoghue. Ball given away. Ball dropping in again. Plenty of Limerick players. Oh, there's a collision there. As 2 Limerick players are down, 1 is up, but they have the possession, and referee Liam Gordon is correct.
Well, if anyone's going to run into Garrod Hegarty down there, if it's Dan Morrissey, he's the only one on the pitch, I think, that could survive that kind of a belt. You can see here when the 2 of them come in, the clash is, see, them smacked into each other there. Morrissey is up, thankfully. Of course he is. But what a save from Nicky Quaid. If you think about where he came from, Marty, from 2 or 3 months ago, he said there's no way he's going to be able to play. But
we think this might be off the crossbar. Let's just see.
Crossbar.
It is the crossbar, actually.
I always think he's so good that he's the one who's going to save it. Any lower and he would have, but either way, just a let off again there. Hard luck from Patrick Horgan. Great shot. But the main thing as well, from John Kiley's point of view, when it came off the crossbar and came out, hit a green jersey and out they were out again.
John Kiley and his management team with Paul Kinnerk must be very pleased with this performance. It's their best so far this year, but what a day to have it when the league champions come to town, and the team that knocked you out of the championship last year when the 5-in-a-row dream was on. It's so much last year, I'm sure John Kiley will say. This is 2025. Ball comes down towards Sean O'Donoghue. Backfires Patrick Collins. Going for distance again. Shoulder to shoulder, right beside each other. Nicely picked up by Will O'Donoghue. Coming forward is Kyle Hayes. Once again, it's the man who's come back, Peter Casey, with his second point of the match. Just shows you the depth of talent that's in Limerick at the moment. And it hasn't gone away.
No, it definitely hasn't, but the anger and the hurt, you can see it pouring out. Everyone spoke about this game as being a statement match in the Munster Championship. Limerick have made a fair statement here now, there's no doubt about that. And they've gotten Cathal O'Neill and they've gotten Casey on the field to play. It's a big plus for them as well.
Kyle Hayes coming across, getting there ahead of Brian Hayes. The Battle of the Hayes won by the Limerick version. In towards the corner, towards Aaron Gillan again and company. Over his right shoulder, and this one is going to tail to the right and wide. The referee, they think the referee has blown the whistle, and he has now. Game over. And Limerick have laid down a marker. An awesome display. Best display by any team in the Championship 2025. Limerick have set out their stall, and they're clearly earmarking 7 Munster Championships in a row. For Pat Ryan and his Cork team, the league champions, an afternoon of disappointment. But Limerick's first half performance will be talked about for years to come. And strategically, they got it right, defending well in the second half. The full-time score in Páirc na Gael Limerick. Limerick, 3 goals, 26 points. Cork, 1 goal and 16. Your thoughts, Brendan Cummins?
Yeah, look, there's no doubt coming in here today that the word was around which one of these teams is going to really make that statement. I think Limerick have in the first half. They had a full array of skills. Cian Lynch, obviously Hegarty, Morrissey. Then the second half they sat deeper, ran the ball up the pitch. Cork will just see this as a game, Marty, that's just gone now. They have to prepare for Waterford now next weekend and make sure that they win that game. If they win it by enough, they might pass Tip out in that score difference. But either way, they lick their wounds. They have learned a lot from this here today, but Limerick have made some statement, Marty.
Some statement. I saw, as I mentioned during commentary, I saw Limerick a couple of times in the league, and they were good, but this was a different level completely.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the intensity and the energy that they brought all around the pitch. I mean, yes, we'll talk about the structure and what they did, but the energy and the hunger that they showed out there today, the fist pumps. Dermot Burns, who last year we'd have said might have looked a small bit leggy around the pitch, today he was absolutely on fire out there, working in tandem with his wing forward. So everything is really, really strong now for Limerick. And as I say, Cork are by no means out of anything at this stage. It's just one of those days. I think Pat Ryan will put it down to and move on as quick as they can.
Joyous scenes in Páirc na Gael, sun-drenched Páirc na Gael, and it certainly is a sea of green and white as they celebrate one of the finest victories for Limerick in the Munster Hurling Championship.
Oh, they've had quite a few of those down through the years in recent years anyway, Marty. Joyous scenes if you're from Limerick, not so joyous if you're from County Cork. Liam Sheedy, where does that performance rank, and where do you think that now puts Limerick in terms of the championship as a whole?
Oh, listen, I mean, you know, they were probably a little bit wounded, I mean, and they were probably, you know, talked down in the last number of...
Sorry, I'm actually going to briefly interrupt you. I'm so sorry, but that's because we have our man of the match standing by. There was a bit of a debate, but in the end, Kyle Hayes is the winner. So here's Darren.
Thanks, Joanne. I'm glad I didn't have to pick this one. A tight contest. Kyle Hayes, the Bord Gáis man of the match, and Teresa Pirtle from Bord Gáis Energy is here to present the award, if you can. congratulations. That was a pretty awesome performance, not just from yourself, but by your teammates. Did that go as planned for you?
Look, I suppose we started off the year, our league campaign wasn't great, and every game after that we want to improve, and the first day against Tip we were happy with our performance, but Tip just put up an unbelievable match-up against us, so we moved on to the next looking for that few percentage to improve again and bring that into this game now. In front of the home crowd here today, they've been absolutely unbelievable support to us over the years, so it's nice to pay them back at a win like that.
Kyle, it looked like that your Limerick team maybe trying to make a point there today.
No, look, we're not about that. We don't read headlines or any outside noise. We're only worried what happens inside the four walls, inside the dressing room there. And we want to build on this performance now again against Clare. Another home game here next week. Lovely game to look forward to, so hopefully we can build on that now again.
And maybe you haven't seen the end of Cork either. Maybe a Munster final awaiting you.
Look, possibly. You just don't know at Munster. Anybody could beat anybody on any given day. All you have to be off is a few percentage, another team could beat you. So look, I'm sure we'll meet them down the line, whether it be an All-Ireland semi-final, quarter-final or Munster final, who knows.
Well done, Kyle.
Cheers, thank you.
Yeah, an incredible performance from Kyle Hayes today. An incredible performance from many, many players out there. Liam, I very rudely interrupted you, but do you want to pick up where you were?
No, I mean, it was an awesome performance, and that man epitomised everything that was good about Limerick today. I think he set the tone from the start. It was just, you know, his all-round performance, his strength on the ball, his delivery, every aspect of it. But there was so many Kyle Hayes there today. It was probably close on the perfect performance from a Limerick perspective. You know, 15 points up at half-time, ended up winning by 12, dominant right throughout the field. Really impressed with their half-forward line. You know, I think they got nearly, between them, they got nearly 8 to 10 points between them. Gerard Hegarty, Keane Lynch and Tom Morrissey. And then when you have the likes of Cathal O'Neill and Peter Casey to come in, they just are a formidable team. And no doubt about it, they were wounded last July in that All-Ireland semi-final. But they came out today to make a statement, and by God did they make some statement.
They were wounded by Cork, and we might get to those with you, Donal Logan, in a moment. But of course, the big news from this isn't just that performance from Limerick. Anthony Daly, it means that the All-Ireland champions are now out for 2025. Clare's hopes of progressing are gone.
Yeah, I suspected, Joanne, that you're going to get a massive backlash from Limerick today. We got it. I thought Tip would have enough at home and they had momentum, but I just felt Limerick weren't going to lose to Cork 3 times in a row. So I have suspected, but look, the joy that those boys in Clare brought us last July, Joanne, I hope it's not forgotten by our supporters next week, and get in here and support the boys. And I know our lads, you know, Brian will drive them on this week and they'll come in and give a performance of pride for the jersey.
And you can have a look at what this table looks like at the moment. So remember, when 3 teams end up on the same points, it comes down to scoring difference, and it's overall scoring difference in Munster as well. Limerick's look fairly healthy after that victory today. So if Cork were to win their match next week and go to 5 points as well, and we had a 3-way tie, you'd imagine it would be between Cork and Tip to join Limerick really in a Munster final. Yeah,
but Waterford still have a big chance on that as well, and I mean, how wounded now are Cork after that? You'd expect a backlash naturally, Joanne. Pat Ryan, they've a lot achieved, and yet they have, you know, they've the league put on the board, but that's all, and you'd expect a backlash. But Waterford tonight will be going back to Waterford saying, come on lads, we've one match to win, and we're through. Like,
what about Cork, Donal Logue? I mean, we heard Kyle Hayes there say if your percentages are off even minimally, you're in big trouble. Is that what happened? Obviously Limerick happened, but from a Cork point of view.
Well, look, Joanne, the game is the game, right? I don't think anybody expected that Limerick were going to beat Cork by this amount today. But from a Cork point of view, like, the war is far from over. They'll just have to go back, take this beating. A lot of learnings. It was more than small cracks became emergent there, and any of those cracks, Limerick put a jackhammer to them. I think definitely learnt their lesson about in terms of how to mark the key Limerick men individually, the need for when Cork get chances that they need to put them away. But there's a long season there yet. I think it has to be said though, from a Cork point of view, like, this Limerick team have we ever seen a better team than them? What a machine they look like today. So well engineered, resilient, strong, every part are working, and up for the fight everywhere, up for the fight. And as you can see, they're up for the fight, they're still behind us. But anyway, there's a long year yet there yet, folks. You can't hear us there.
I wonder who that's aimed on out of all the panel here, Donal.
It could be anyone in the 3 of us.
But Joanne, to mention on that though, like everywhere Limerick, even on the line there, Kinnerk and Kiley, and we all saw, because on this line, and it was debatable enough whether Hayes was fouled. Kiley was actually on the field going towards the on the referee's case and the linesman case. So everywhere today, Limerick wanted to send a message out that they're far from gone away.
One of those messages, surely, and we talked about before the game, there was no way they were going to let Kyle Hayes be taken out of the game. That didn't just happen. Limerick and Kyle Hayes made sure that he was front and centre to everything, didn't they?
Oh yeah, well, we said it before the match, you know, John Kiley and Paul Kinnerk, I think they were hurt because they don't get outfoxed too often, but you'd have to say that they dismantled them today, and Kyle Hayes was central to that. You know, his energy levels and his ability to read the game as soon as he snuffs danger, and like, he was very disciplined in the tackle today. You know, I thought he'd done extremely well, and they just couldn't break him down. And again, you know, the full back line, I thought today, you know, that inside forward line of Cork, they've been outstanding in the league and championship, but they just couldn't find space today. And I thought the way they were managed in there and supported by their half back line, I felt there was a great connection between the inside back line and the half back line, and that's ultimately was their platform for success.
He's like a gazelle as well, though, isn't he? Like you see there now, not just the breaking out, like it's the tackling, it's the handing at the last second, it's the whole package he gives you there at 6. They've had a great 6 in Declan Hannon. Look at that for bravery. I don't care where it hits me, you're not getting a goal. Like, so
he had to get rid of the match. He had to get rid of the match.
He had to get rid of the match.
The reason he's saying is there was a disagreement because you two thought maybe Adam English was
I think that last block.
Yeah, that last block, the bravery there. Been winning by that much, they're going to take the bullet anywhere at all. But like, there were outstanding performances outside of that. You had like, Adam English was outstanding in the middle of the field, especially in the start of the game. I thought Dan Morrissey, just watching him off the ball there, in terms of Liam spoke about Hayes doing all the simple things. Morrissey was so solid, so safe, playing the way a modern defender should, attacking it when he had to, defending Nicky Quaver when he should. So Hayes was outstanding, but the whole Limerick operation today was so impressive.
And midfield done, like you were wiped out in midfield. Tim O'Mahony had great form coming in.
Yeah.
Look, at anyone can have an off day.
Yeah.
But like English, I thought was excellent. William was William, out where he wants to be in the thick of the battle, and they did no answer from there. They tried a few different combinations, Cork, but nothing worked.
No, nothing worked because Limerick were so on song this afternoon. Victory to them here at the Gaelic grounds against Cork. We have more analysis of this. We'll be looking back at that victory for Tipperary and Thurles a little bit earlier on as well. And we'll have a little look at how Kilkenny got the better of Dublin in Leinster as well. First of all, though, here's our competition.
Here's your chance to win a 5-star luxury breakaway at the stunning hotel and resort, the K Club, in the heart of County Kildare. You and a friend will enjoy 4 nights in one of their deluxe rooms with a hearty breakfast each morning. There's dinner on one evening in the Palmer, along with a tasty lunch in the lively South Bar and Restaurant. And so you can relax and unwind, there's a spa treatment each at their Serene K Spa. And for the more adventurous type, there's archery, a round of golf, and lots more besides. Check it all out on thekclub.ie. Plus, in case you need it, there's €500 spending money too. For your chance to win, answer this question. Louth claimed their first Leinster senior football title since 1957 recently. But which of these is their current manager? Is it Ger Brennan or Mickey Hart? To enter, call the number on screen or text the word game followed by your answer and name to 57886. Maximum cost per entry is €2.50. You must be over 18 to enter. Lines will close at midday on Monday the 26th of May. Full details are on rte.ie/competitions, where the lucky winner will also be revealed.
For more great shows, go to the RTE Player app on Sky.
The 7 in a row is on, and don't the Limerick faithful absolutely love it. These boys are back in business. They may have missed out on that 5 in a row last year, but Limerick are gunning to get back up those steps in the Hogan stand. Mind you, they'll take getting their hands on the Mick Mackey Cup first of all before that. Of course, it helps when you do have a 22-year-old who can come up with 1-2. It's a bit popular as Adam English down there as well.
You give him a chance,
like. What's that like?
A chance to talk.
It's unbelievable. I think John said it after the Waterford game that we needed everybody here. And Joe, to be fair, they came out in trumps, and Joe, we really needed today against Cork. Joe, as I said in the interview earlier on, the supporters give you an extra 10% coming down the straight line, and listen, they were brilliant today.
And you got off, I presume it helps when you get off to such a flying start like that. It was like you just came bursting out of the blocks, and everything that you've been building for the last few weeks just seemed to come together. Yeah, we said the first quarter, Joe, we just emptied the tank. And listen, when I don't know, the first few scores was a Keane or Tom got the first score, Joe, just relaxed everything, and Joe, we could play our game, then the nerves just went. So yeah. Anthony, you had some question marks over his goal, did you?
I thought the first touch was terrible, Joanne. Look, I was giving him man the match, as you know, but the Tipperary man swayed it towards Kildimo, Pelaskenry. But no, Adam, some performance, some competition for places. In fairness, yeah. Would you play yourself midfield or further forward if you had a choice?
No, I love midfield now, Joe. I loved a bit of freedom, so yeah, I'm enjoying it every minute of it.
And William around you then, like, just to keep an eye on you. And
exactly, that's mine.
Beautiful.
Yeah. But it must be some lift to see Cathal O'Neill and Peter Casey and Darragh Donovan come. Like you know, there's a real strength and depth, and it looks like the energy is back in the group this year. Do you feel it?
Oh, it's magical when you see Cathal and Peter Casey coming in, like Joe. As I said, it's like as supporters, it just lifts you that extra 5%, and Joe, you can just keep going till the very end.
Super.
Adam, congratulations. You've had a great underage career, now graduating into one of the greatest teams of all time, if not the greatest teams. What has that process been like over the last couple of years for you personally?
I suppose it hasn't been easy, Joe. This is my 4th year on the panel, and Joe, the first 2 years, Joe, we're trying to break through, but Joe, the team is just so good that it's just so hard to try and get in there. But Joe, after the Doom campaign last year, Joe, I just said coming into this season, Joe, I just wanted to get on that team, Joe. It's getting out there is a dream come true, so yeah.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant to hear that the Doom campaign will give you the confidence to say I'm entitled to be out there. Your club mate, of course, would be also looking for that spot.
Exactly, yeah,
but come here, you won't put out the full team next week against a team out of it, surely.
We'll see.
You'll rest a few lads.
We'll see.
Did you want to have a look at some of your, what we call your best bits? There are quite a few best bits to choose from, so we'll have a little look here at some of them. Obviously, you got the goal early on with the dreadful first touch, according to the Clare man.
Yeah, I can't really say much about that now. It's kind of, John was talking all week of the high percentage shots, and I don't think the first one was a high percentage, but it went over.
So would you get in trouble for that then?
It went over, so I'd say I'll be fine.
Yeah. Always helps. Here's the goal coming up. What about this? Like, do you ever know what this man is going to do when you're playing with him?
Not really. Like, he's capable of anything, Joe. In training, you're just constantly trying to run off his shoulder, because you know there's a high chance of him that he's going to pop at you. So listen, you just try and put yourself in that position, and Keno, he can do anything with the ball. Like, it's ridiculous.
One of the lads was saying that actually, if there's one player in the team who can do something similar, it would be you. Do you practice these sorts of things?
You don't really. Like, it's just instinct like that. You can't really practice that. It just comes naturally. You know, training since you're 5 or 6 years old. You know, it just comes naturally.
What was it like when you all came back together at the start of this year? Because last year was tough, because you didn't just lose out in All-Ireland. You missed out on becoming the only team to have won the 5 in a row. So what happened? Were there conversations had? Just take us through it.
Yeah, I suppose we were very disappointed last July, whatever it was, and Joe, we came in, was it November, December, Joe, we wanted to right the wrongs of that. And listen, we trained extremely hard. Joe, Adrian, our S&C, Joe, he did phenomenal work with us, and Joe, we're primed and ready for the championship. And yeah, I just suppose just the work we put in is just second to none. Like, we leave everything on that field every Tuesday, Friday, Sunday. Like, it's just everything is left in the field. One quick one before I let you go. John said after the Waterford game that he wasn't pleased with your efficiency in front of goals. Is that something you've been really working on, that you feel the need to? In the past, Limerick have got away with just outscoring the opposition with points. Is it find the back of the net been a key? Yeah, definitely. Like, you see the championship this year, Joe, it's just taking another level. Joe, every ball you hit, it has to go over. So listen, every night in training, 15 minutes before training, that's all it is, just making sure that you're hitting the targets, making sure you're aiming for black spot, as Paul Kinnock says, and you're trying to aim for there and hitting it over the bar. Well, Adam, you're so good for coming up to us, especially on such a baking hot day and after a performance like that. So well done to Adam. Let's hear from his winning manager now. Here's John Kiley.
John Kiley, congratulations. Just as you come in there, you're wiping the sweat off your brow. A hot day out there on and off the field.
Yeah, it was just, listen, it was typical Munster Championship weather. I suppose the kind of Munster Championship games that we dream about, really, you know, hot sunny days, packed stadiums, and delighted with our win, of course, and delighted with the performance first and foremost. We set ourselves some fairly ambitious targets out there today, and we went after them. I'm delighted for the lads. They worked really, really hard.
There was some people, John, writing you off before this championship, but I don't think you're going anywhere in a performance like that.
Listen, I think, you know, we had 2 away games to start with, and we hadn't a great league from a consistency point of view. With a lot of injuries, it was very hard to get any consistency into the team, but we saw it as an advantage, to be honest with you, because it meant that we had to delve into the group as a whole, and a wider delve into it. It meant that some of our players came out of the league with very little game time, but we had a great camp just after the league, and you know, everything kind of started to fall into place very quickly, and we've had a great 10 weeks really. Lads have worked really hard, they're very fresh, they just have that appetite and enthusiasm for the game back again, and they're really enjoying their hurling, and that's all I want for these guys, is to enjoy their hurling, enjoy days like today, and to be able to go out there and express themselves and play the game they love.
Very tight at the back, gave this sharp Cork attack absolutely nothing, John. Forwards, brilliant as well, lighting up that scoreboard. But is that really pleasing for you? Because it could be a 3-way tie here to get that big, healthy score on the board.
It was never a consideration for us, to be honest. You know, when Cork are coming to town, you know, you just want to try and get across the line. You know, they're a super team. Beat us last year twice. So, you know, they've got really dangerous forwards. Give them a split second on the ball and, you know, it can be in the back of the net. So, really delighted with the way our players defended right throughout the game. I thought we were superb under the high ball. Breaking ball, we were very animated and very energetic. And, you know, we just really put our bodies in the line, you know. And I thought we grew in confidence as the game went on in that regard.
It's all in your own hands. You might meet Cork again somewhere down the line very soon.
Well, we got 2 points today. We've another 2 on the board next weekend. And ultimately all you can do is take it game by game. We've made a lot of progress, but there's other guys in the panel now that need to take their opportunities now as well and keep the pressure on the lads for their places, and that's going to be possibly their opportunity now in the next number of weeks to really do that in training and on the pitch.
Thank you, John.
Thank you very much indeed.
We didn't expect him to get carried away with anything now, did we, John Kiley? But what do you make of, first of all, what John Kiley, what Paul Kinnerk have done, and even when you see Adam English, he's just turned 22, standing there.
Not a bead of sweating him.
No.
And we sweating up here, and we in the shade. No, look at, we don't really have to go there with Kiley, Kinnerk, Alan Cunningham. You know, they've been incredible. Spoke about Adrian O'Brien bringing things to another level, S&C, but I think they'll have a couple of regrets about last year, maybe on the line, and I think they've restructured a little bit, and man enough to do that as well. Kiley's a top bloke outside of being a top manager. He's a real sound man, you know, and I think his players, they kind of express that attitude that you're grounded, you're not bigger than anyone else, you're part and parcel of a unit here, and I think they carry themselves very well that way.
We know we've seen lots of big second half comebacks, but I don't think anybody really expected that to happen this afternoon. So the damage done in the first half, there were a couple of big moments in that second half. Obviously, the free for Patrick Horgan being moved in due to an indiscretion from Diarmuid Burns, and I don't think anybody didn't expect that he'd go for it.
Yeah, it was actually interesting because Cork had won a free earlier in the game, and I was thinking, look, maybe will Patrick go for it or not? It was a thing we spoke about at half-time, that the ball that was going in directly to Cork were getting results out of it. Don't think there was any question over here. I tell you, there was some power behind this shot from up here, because Nicky Quaid, like the way he top-spinned it and put that angle on it, right? But then, typical Limerick, like, looking at this one, and anybody who's been listening to me over the last couple of years will know that the value I put on Aaron Gillan, I don't think this was a penalty, right? Obviously, it'll make no difference to the game. I think Gillan played that so well, that he's so clued into what he's doing. He had Owen Downey caught by the hand, then he leant back into him, and he played for it. I go back to, I think it was Liam I heard earlier on today saying that the referee should be going into the umpires or listening to the umpires in that situation. But again, that's taken nothing from Limerick. It didn't make any difference, and it was no surprise then that Gillan steps up and finishes it so well.
If a fullback has his arms around the full forward, though, is he always asking for trouble?
I only played fullback for a small while.
But what's he meant to do in that situation? When Gillan is leaning back into him and catching him by the arm, which he did, and then actually leaning back. If you look at the angle of Gillan's body, he played that system perfectly to make it look as if he was being
Aaron Gillan could have played comfortably in the 90s. He did excellent. I tell you, I wouldn't he, Liam? He would have.
He would.
The Limerick puckouts, always fascinating to look at. What did you pick up from them today?
Well, I thought Limerick on the restarts today were just outstanding. They took it to another level for me, and it's great to have the options that they have because they're not tied down to one area. And like your Road Hegarty, the whole half forward line I thought really impressed me today. But equally in the second half, Limerick last year I thought they were very naive in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. They managed to get their half back line up, but watch them today. There's very little space between the half back line and the inside back line. And they've all the bodies dropped back. So I said it's very unlikely you only got a goal chance really from the 21. And look at all the space now that they've created above. So they've complete separation up at the other end where Galan can run into his space. He gets onto the ball and he picks off a lovely point. And to me, I thought they really bossed the puck outs from both ends of the field today, and I thought it made a big difference. But overall, I thought Limerick, they just were on it today, and they had their homework done, and they executed perfectly.
John, it's like Donald spoke about Cork, and they have to learn from it, but they have to learn very quickly now from it because Waterford would be disappointed, I'd say, especially when they drew level with Tip. But Cork, anything about this hype machine and all that's out the window now. It's down to basics now, and Waterford coming to Páirc Uí Chaoimh and having to win, no question. It isn't about why you must do it next week for Cork.
Good time then to hear from the Cork manager is Pat Ryan.
Pat Ryan, thanks for coming out talking to us. That is desperately disappointing, I know. Where do you think it went wrong?
Look, Limerick were at a higher pitch than us. Their work rate was way higher than ours, and look, they bossed the game from the beginning. And look, we probably missed one or two chances to kind of stave a bit of momentum off them in the first half. They took their opportunities very well, So look, we'll try and put this to bed now and move on to Waterford next week. Look, obviously, very disappointing result.
The space they were given in the first half, Pat, is that a concern for you?
Yeah. Look. Obviously, if you're going to give them with that space, they were really well drilled today, and they look like they always are. And I think they were a lot more sharper than we were today. So look, great opportunity for us next week to play Waterford, and look, that's probably winner takes all who comes out of Munster. So that great chance of redemption next week for our guys.
And the nature of the result, Pat, and the performance will be hard to lift the lads with just a week to prepare.
No, not really. Look, that's what character's about. It's up to our lads now to show a bit of character. And look, we're back in front of our home fans in Páirc Uí Chaoimh next week against Waterford. So look, that's going to be a huge game. But look, we'll be ready to go. And in terms of the Munster Championship, Limerick, I'd say you'd like another shot at them pretty soon, wouldn't you? Yeah, I don't know, but if they're going to be as good as they were there, I don't know, we'd like to go shot at them. But look, that's our job. Look, to get out of Munster, and that's our chance. We've a great chance against Waterford next week. And look, we owe to our own Cork fans as well. Look, we had a big travelling support today, and look, we owe to them to put in a better performance than we did today.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you, Darren.
That is absolutely brilliant as always from Pat Ryan. We know that Anthony said that they do have to learn fast, but you could make the argument also they've had a huge amount of room for improvement as well, don't they?
Yeah, look, when you heard Pat there, I think that's the way the Cork are going to view it, and I think this group have shown a lot of resilience over the last number of years. Like that All-Ireland final there for a lot of those players that were involved, that was some beating to get. The first couple of games, even last year, the whole group was under serious pressure. They were strong enough to take that and to turn it around. There's been a huge high around the game in Cork. Hurling is extremely popular. There's a massive following for that Cork team. If anything, this will test now next week. You'd like to think that all of those followers that have been following Cork over the last while will realise that there's a bit of a gun to the head from a Cork point of view, and Cork need everything to bring everything that they can next weekend. But Pat, as I said, he's a very steady fella, and I think there'll be no better person leading the group now in the coming week than him.
And of course, one county who don't have a match next week is Tipperary, but they have made sure that they do remain in the championship for 2025 after their win over Waterford a little bit earlier on. We haven't heard from the man of the match for that game just yet, so first of all, here is Andrew Ormond.
Andrew Ormond is man of the match, and Seamus Dundee from Ayr is here to present Andrew with the award. Seamus, will you do the honours? Thanks a million. Andrew, what a great result. Off to a rocky start, but what did Tipperary do from there on in?
Yeah, no, look, obviously we weren't expecting a start like that. I don't think you ever are, but that's just a sign of the team that Waterford are. They're so dangerous, an early goal, but look, we just stuck to the plan. I think we reeled off a couple of scores, and before we knew it, I think we were back ahead, and I think we just, I don't know, did we keep the lead for the rest of it? I think we did, but just shows the character that's in our squad. Our 15 lads, our 5 that came off the bench, just unbelievable. So yeah.
You made a load of turnovers in the first half after that slow start. You've been doing that all year. This team is built on honesty. There's obviously skill levels as well, but is that the key in your opinion?
Yeah, look, I suppose with any good team, you have to bring that level of honesty. You know, we're a really genuine group. We work hard. You know, every team is working hard, but you know, we just had to stay working as hard as we could in the first half to get back ahead. And in fairness, I think we kept up that work rate throughout.
Last question for you. At underage, you know, great times, great days. The last couple of weekends have been fantastic for you. How hard have you had to work over the last few years to get a place in this team, to get yourself established? It's not an easy job.
No, you know, in Tipperary, I suppose it can take a couple of years to get into the team. But you know, we've had some great players go before us in the past, and look, the time is now, and I'm just delighted to be enjoying my hurling at the minute, and you know, long may it continue for me. Thanks.
Man of the match. Well done, Andy.
Thanks a million, David. Thanks.
Yeah, superb performance from Andrew Ormond, and a good win for Tipperary as well down in Thurles. Good win as well, and it sounds like an incredible match in the Leinster Hurling Championship. Kilkenny once again got the better of Dublin. They were really dominant, Liam, in the opening half. Mossy Keown, this is their 4th goal. At this stage, it made it 4-9 to 10 points, and they went on to lead at the break by 4-12 to 10.
Yeah, you know, and you'd have to give Dublin great credit. You know, okay, you have to question what they were doing to give themselves such a mountain to climb. But how often have we seen it with Dublin? You know, they get themselves back into it, and to bring it back to 2 points down the home straight will give them a huge lift. And you know, they'll be disappointed to have lost, but there's a lot of play for them again next week. I'm sure there's nothing that they'd like better than to get another go at Kilkenny in Leinster final. And obviously now we have a winner-take-all contest next weekend between Galway and Dublin have it at home. So you know, that's going to be a cracking match to see who faces off against Kilkenny.
Absolutely. Billy Ryan with 2-3 today, TJ with 1-9. Where do you see the Dubs as being now?
I'd be encouraged, I'd say, you know, from what I was kind of trying to pick up, that they were basic mistakes they made. Now, I don't mean, you know, they're just mix-ups, 2 fellas going for the same ball, little things, but the fight seems to be there. Neil seems to have brought that fight and togetherness, and that fight back will lift them. And as Liam is right, like that is a massive showdown with Galway in Parnell, and Parnell should be heaving.
And you will get full highlights of that and analysis and reaction on tonight's Sunday game, along with all of today's games, both in hurling and football. Big results in football too. But for now, thank you to Liam, to Anthony and to Donal Logue. We, of course, have live action from the final round of the round robins in both Leinster and Munster coming off you on next week's Sunday game. But for now, from all of us here, bye-bye.